Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my series on how to play Taiko. Today I'll go over some of the key playstyles in Taiko, focusing on how it's played, the perks of playing it, the negatives, and some example players who use these styles. So first of all, to make some, clarifications, when I say D I mean Don, which means the red notes. When I say K I mean Cat, which means the blue notes. So these playstyles are referred to by the key layouts mostly, focusing on left key, middle key, right middle key, and then right key. So basically there are two main key layouts which people use, which would be KDDK, the most common, and DDKK or KDDK, which is less common. So let's focus on KDDK. That basically means you play the red notes with your index fingers and the blue notes with your middle fingers. There are two main ways to play this. One would be single tapping, slow notes, which you can see here, and alternating triplets and faster streams, as you can also see the triplets. The perks of this playstyle are that it's probably very easy to learn, and you can get a fairly decent act with that, as you can see here. The deficits of this playstyle are that it suffers at higher BPM, but when I'm talking higher BPM I'm meaning 270 BPM or higher. You can still play up to that easily. There are also players who play up to 300 BPM with this playstyle. Some of the most well-known players for this would be Sobatsu, who is currently ranked 3 worldwide and uses this playstyle and can play up to 320 BPM on some songs. Then there would also be Xay, a German player who just returned basically, who used to play a long time ago. He can play up to 300 BPM with this playstyle, and I also use this playstyle and play up to 270 BPM at the moment. Okay, now let's go to the second KDDK playstyle, full alternate. That's probably the best playstyle if you're looking to rise to the very top of Taiko, because to get to the top you'll need to be able to play very high BPM. Because, the PP system in Taiko mostly relies on double time, and the more crazy maps you play, the more PP you get, basically. So basically this playstyle, as I already said, is the best at high BPM, because you don't strain one hand that much. But it's a bit harder to learn, because you need to learn to play every pattern starting with the right hand or with the left hand, because you need to differentiate. You may also find it a bit harder to get a good accuracy at first, because you need to coordinate between both hands a lot more. Some of the most well-known players for this would be Shinji Kohome, who is currently ranked 2 but used to be rank 1 in Taiko for a long time. He plays this playstyle not using 4 fingers but only using his index fingers, so he basically switches or moves his index fingers to the different keys. You can look him up on YouTube and find some live plays of him. Then there's also one Roha, who uses the same playstyle and is also one of the most well-known players. He's a really good hidden player and also played in the Japanese Taiko World Cup team. Another player who uses the normal way to play it with 4 fingers would be Flanks, the highest ranked non-Asian player in Taiko from America. Yeah. So now let's go over to DDKK. That basically means you play each color with one hand. So for instance you play the red notes with the left hand, the blue notes with the right hand. This playstyle might be quite good for beginners, because once you get into it, it's easier to learn the patterns. I know a lot of DKK players who are really good at patterns, better than me also. Patterns aren't my strong part, but whatever. So, the deficits of this playstyle are pretty heavy. It's basically very hard to get a good accuracy, and I hear a lot of DDKK players complain about their accuracy. Also, it's hard to play at high BPM, or just to play single color streams. I wouldn't recommend you to play this playstyle if you want to rise to the top, because it'll be very hard. Of course you can do it. Some of the best players in this playstyle would be Nubita, Tasha, and Jack Rabeat. Now some other unorthodox playstyles which don't really find much representation would be KD, which is just weird. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know how that would work. Then there'd also be playing with one hand, which a drama player once did for a while, but I wouldn't really say that's viable. Then also a trap you might fall into if you're single tapping KDDK. I'm gonna warn everyone who's starting because I fell into this, and if I didn't get out of it, I probably wouldn't be as good as I am now. That's basically when you don't alternate between both hands in triplets or streams where you have a red note followed by a blue note starting at the right hand. You might find, oh, it's easier for me to play this pattern. Do not. Just focus on alternating 1/4 patterns, because it can get very hard and exhausting for your right hand. I know some players who complain about that and are stuck because of that. I used to be stuck because of that, but I somehow managed to switch playstyles. There are other players who just accept it and just want to play like that, such as Tiamus. He's also a really good player and he plays with that style, so you can also get really good with that. But I wouldn't really recommend it because it's sub-efficient. Okay, I'd say that concludes it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.